Hello everyone, it's me, Mr. Robles, back at it again with another video. Now today we're going to talk about traveling in space, and you will have a project related to this at a later date. But first let's talk about the origins of how we got from here on Earth into the stars. Now first stop on the list is, well, how do we study space? And usually with the use of telescopes, besides our naked eye. Now the modern telescope was invented until a man named Galileo Galilei came to be, and he used a modified version of a spyglass that sailors used to study the stars. He noticed that four things, or in this case moons, he would later call, orbited Jupiter and not planet Earth. Like everyone thought, like, oh, Earth is the center and everything will be orbiting around it. Well, that wasn't the case, and Galileo proved that, even though his theories kind of got him in trouble, but it helped pave the way to modern astronomy. You'll learn a lot of more players related to this, like Kepler and Copernicus, but for now we're only going to focus on Galileo, and maybe if we have time, we'll talk about the others. But thanks to the invention of the modern telescope, we also got ideas of what is it like to travel beyond planet Earth. Now, tomorrow, with the set of videos I'll also give you an extra video to watch. It's a short movie called Flight to the Moon, about how people thought, like, oh, what is it like to live on the moon, or what are the people on the moon like? And, well, sorry to disappoint, but there's nothing there to find. Now, one of the things that started our man's curiosity to modern day spaceflight was the Cold War. At the time, everyone was at an arms race of creating the most advanced nuclear weapons of all time, but at the same time having it in a place where no one can really get you. And where can no one really get you? Well, space. So the USSR and the United States both made something called the space race, which we'll talk a little bit more in social studies. But this modern day space race allowed both the United States and Russia to begin a race of who could be the first to do what. Well, Russia got mostly the first object, first man, first woman, animal, living thing, etc. And the US eventually, their first was eventually first person to land on another surface, or in this case, the moon. Now, thanks to the space race, we had programs like the Mercury program here in the United States. We also had the Gemini and the Apollo missions, which the Apollo missions were the final missions to lead us to the moon. After the space race ended and the Cold War ended, space travel is more of a global community effort to basically use what can we do that's not possible here on Earth. And a lot of science experiments and other stuff have been created in an outer space environment. For example, space stations like Mir and the International Space Station, which is currently built by a ton of different countries around the world, funding money so that they can have scientists go up there and do experiments that you can't really do on Earth and discover new ways of treating people, medications, etc., and studies of the stars and planets from a more clear observation. Now, the space shuttle, which was the United States' main program of getting to space, retired about 15 years ago, but it was the main mode of transportation from here over there. Now, we won't talk about any of the tragedies related to it because it's not related to this topic, but we will cover those in 7th grade when we get to space travel in astronomy in 7th grade. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is what's the future of space travel? Because here on Earth, well, what's the point? You already like hitchhike with other people or use SpaceX to help us create like rovers or rockets that could get us up there. But here's the thing: we really don't know how much time we have left on this planet Earth, and the earlier we invest in spaceflight, the better we can discover. Not to mention that you have big people like Elon Musk, SpaceX, and heck, a bunch of presidents around the world of saying like, "Oh, we'll have X in this year. We will arrive to the moon again and back." Well, it still hasn't happened, but again, it's a community effort to have all this done. I remember as a kid, back when I was in like 5, 6 years old, I read a book where it's like, oh, by 2008 we'll have the moon base done. Moon base is not here, and I doubt we'll have the moon base by 2030. But there's always a chance to dream, and that's what it takes: a lot of dream, a lot of effort to become basically an astronaut. And that's all I have for today. There won't be a video tomorrow because again I'll have a bunch of videos up. But look out for that project on Tuesday, and if this is the last video before, and I don't post on Thursday, I just want to wish you a happy Easter. So hey, take care of yourselves and peace.